Hi, welcome to live stream yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Your mantra for today is I'm still standing. As always, play when you're comfortable, modify when you need to, take a rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to begin today's practice by standing. You can find more or less the halfway mark of your mat and then just stand behind it, facing the top end of the mat. Find a nice tall stand, arms long and relaxed at your side. Look down towards your feet and begin to play with your toes. Lift all 10 toes off the mat and then reground them without rocking the weight back into your heels. Make sure all 10 toes come off. Then start to give me little heel lifts. Lifting and then regrounding to the mat. Then begin to shift the weight in your feet. Everything right, so that you're knife edging. And then everything left. Peeling the one outside and the one inside of your foot off the mat. Then reground your feet fully and place your hands gently on your hip creases. Tiny micro bend in the knee and back to extension. Don't make the bend too big, just enough to wake up the leg. End in the micro bend and then close your eyes. And we're going to play with a little Kegel exercise. You can keep your back line in neutral. Try not to clench your glutes. Try to use your pelvic floor muscles. So we're going to start by clenching to level 1. Then a little tighter, level 2. Level 3. Level 4. Level 5. Tightest clench that you can and hold for 10. Then release all the way from level 5 to 0. We're going to do that twice more. Find level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold for 10. Release all the way from 5 to 0. Last time. Find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold. Release all the way from 5 to 0. Stand up nice and tall, relaxing the arms at your side. We're coming into a working roll down pattern. Take a big breath into prep. On the exhale, nod your chin to your chest. Roll down over an imaginary barrel. Peel back up over the barrel, adding a heel lift. Then sit back into a chair. Add a heel lift to the chair, reground to repeat, roll it down, roll it up, heel lift, chair with a heel lift if you can, rinse and repeat. Find your rhythm, working with your breath. We've got 5 more sets to go. Keep belly to spine throughout. Last 2 sets. Last working set. We're going to bring it all the way down onto the haunches, arms extended out in front. 3 little pulses off the center line to one side and then the other. Keep alternating. Let's do 1 more to each side before we find our way to a seat on the mat. Make sure that you've got enough room to fully extend the legs. We're going to begin with a bent leg line. Just cupping softly to your shin bones. We're going to find a C curve and then bring it back. Now let's add to it. We're going to do a C curve and pause. We're going to float the right arm up and return it, and then back to neutral. Let's repeat left. Now let's double up. So the pattern is single, single, double. Single, single, double. 1 more like this. Now let's find the C curve and run through all 3 arm movements. So C curve, right, left, double. Then return to neutral. Let's repeat 3 more times. Right, left, both together. Last time. Sit up nice and tall and relax the tips of your fingers to the mat. We're going to find a drag pattern on the right, then a lift and drag back to start. Drag to lift, drag to bend. We're at 8. 4 more to go. Last one. We're going to end with the leg extended. Drop your bent leg and flip over to your side, coming into a modified elbow side plank. Keep your rib cage up nice and high. Top arm relaxed to your hip. We're going to lift and lower off the mat 10 times. End in the lift, and then let's play with the top arm. Bring it alongside your ear, and then bend and tap the elbow 10 times. Keep your bottom hip off the mat throughout. Last one, come into a full elbow or forearm plank, holding your body line parallel to the mat for 10. Bend the knees, connect your shins and feet to the floor, and come into a full 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. We're going to play right arm, left leg. Float those two limbs out and into a tabletop stretch, and then paint your way back to a full 4-point kneel. Make sure that you're not pulling the arm and the knee through the 4-point kneel. So control with your core. Grazing the mat as you come back. Last one. Flip back over to the side of your body. We're coming into a working clam line, preferably on the elbow, but if that's too much, you can bring your frame lower to the mat. All right, so we are going to bend and stack the legs, heels on the same axis as the spine. We're going to play with a clam on the first one, keeping the knees together while we open and squeeze back down. 6, 4, end open, and then extend to tap, extend to tap. 6, 4, 2, combine the two together. Clam to extend and retrace your path back. 8, 6, 2. We're going to end with the leg in extension and begin to trace a circle. I'm working anti-clockwise on the first one. Then hot potato tap the front of your mat and the back of your mat for 10. Then come back to your circling motion. This time I'm going to work clockwise. Hot potato tap front and back for 10. Then change the frame of your legs, extending bottom, bending top. Bring yourself lower to the mat if you need to. We're going to use the whole inseam of the bottom leg to effect a little lift and a lower for 10. From here, we're going to roll over onto the belly. Remember which was your primary working leg. For me, it was my right leg. That's going to be your same working leg. We're going to flip over onto the belly. We're going to bend and stack the arms. We're going to find some dynamic chest lifts. Then we'll hold the chest lift and we'll start to play with our primary working leg. For me, that was the right leg. So starting with your forehead connected to the back of your hands, pretend you've got a little marble underneath your nose. Use the tip of your nose to roll the marble away and articulate up into a small chest lift with 1, 2, or 3 ribs still connected, and then breathe that down. Do that 10 times. As you come up into the chest lift, try to fire up more of your back muscle and rely less on the press through your elbows. Hold your next chest lift. Bend the knee of your working leg and then give me small little heel lifts. Knee lifts, sorry. Trying to lift as much of your knee and the top of your thigh as you can so that you can feel that glute working. Maintaining the chest lift throughout or relaxing your forehead to the back of your hands if maintaining the chest lift is too much. Then extend your working leg and give me 10 extended leg lifts. End in the lift, squeeze towards the midline and back 10 times. Relax the legs down to parallel. Bleed down. Coming out of your chest lift, squeezing the elbows in towards the midline, placing the palms alongside your bosom, and round out into a cat stretch. Then a long spinal stretch in table, and begin to play, oscillating between your rounding out into cat and your stretching into table. Looking to alternate between finding a contraction in the belly for the cat and then a lengthening and a stretch through the belly as you come into the table. One more set. Then actively press into the tops of your feet and come into a tall kneel. We're going to take the L frame between the index finger and the thumb, hook it around the waist, bumping your hips forward, coming into a supported camel back bend. Then realign, arms alongside your body, and TikTok style, drop one arm at a time. Rinse and repeat. One camel, one TikTok. We've got 5 more sets to go. Find your rhythm. Last set. Then we're going to find our way back to a seat, this time facing the back end of our mat, to run through that whole sequencing on the second side. Make sure you've got enough room to fully extend the legs when you need to. We're going to begin with a big leg line, and we're going to find that C curve play. First set is single, single, double. Second set is hold the C curve and combine 3 arm movements together. All right, so we're going to do C curve, right arm floats up, and then back to neutral. Left arm, both together. Now hold the C curve as you execute all 3 arm movements. Sit up nice and tall. Place your fingertips on the mat. We're going to play left leg. You're going to drag to extension and lift and retrace back 10 times. Two more. We're going to end in extension and we're going to pulse. Then flip over onto your side, coming into your elbow side plank. Bottom leg bent, top leg extended. We're going to lift for 10. End in the lift and play with the top arm. Bring it alongside your ear, bend the elbow 10 times. Full elbow plank for 10. Find your way into 4-point kneeling. We're going to play left arm, right leg, painting up into table and back 10 times with control. Not throwing the limbs up, floating them up. Flip over onto the side of the body, preferably on the bottom elbow or lower to the mat for your first set of clams. End open, extend to tap 10 times. Combine your clam with your extension. End in the extension and begin to circle out. Hot potato tap front and back 10 times. Back to your circling motion, this time in the opposite direction. Then a little tap to the front and one to the back 10 times. Then change the frame of your legs, extending bottom, bending top, keeping on the elbow or dropping lower to the mat if you need to. We're going to lift the whole inseam of the bottom leg and relax back down with control. Onto the belly from here. Remember which is your primary working leg. On this side, it is the left leg. Find your stacked forearm position. Articulated chest lifts for 10. Hold your last chest lift and bend the knee of your working leg. Knee lifts for 10. Feel those glutes. Then extend your working leg and do 10 extended lifts for 10. And in the lift, squeeze across the midline and back. Undo your chest lift. Press up into a cat stretch in 4-point kneeling. Begin to alternate and play in a cat table working flow. Contracting the abs as you round out in cat, and then relaxing and stretching them as you find your table. Actively press into the tops of your feet. We're coming into our working camel tick-tock combination. Support your lower back as you bump your hips forward into a camel, then realign to do an alternate arm drop. And we're going to shoot for 10 repetitions of this combination movement. Finding your rhythm. Two more sets to go. Then we're going to find our way back into a standing frame. And we'll end with some standing play. Find your way from here onto the haunches. Ragdoll style. Start to peel up into a stand. We're going to begin with finding a comfortable parallel stand, feet stacking directly underneath your hips. We're going to do not so much a seat as a bum pushback, trying to frame our ears and then back to start. Stay here or tweak the movement slightly, coming into a tabletop fold with extended legs, framing your ears, and then back to stand 10 times. Keeping belly to spine throughout. Hold your last one. Then stand up nice and tall and take a small heel step forward with the right leg, toes up. We're going to place our hands on our hip creases. We're going to fold forward into table. Keep both legs extended. See if you can frame your ears with both arms, holding the tabletop stretch. See if you can relax your right arm down to curl around the back of your toes. See if you can overlay the left hand on top of the right, curling your toes in towards your shin bone, keeping your belly button pulled into center. Then soften both knees as you roll back up to a stand, crossing the right leg in front of the left. Placing your hands on the tops of your thighs to gently fold forward, either stopping in table or finding your way all the way down to the floor and holding a little forward fold, trying to keep the weight placement equal on all four quadrants of both feet. Then soften your knees, bleed back up. Use a zippering up action through the lower abs to pull the right knee up. Brush your hand down the chain of your leg, reach for the foot, drop the right knee towards the floor, squeeze the right knee in, and then start to play with mini pelvic tilts, curling your tailbone into 12 and then releasing so that you feel the quad and the hip flexor on the right leg every time you curl the tailbone in. Hold your last curl. Relax the legs to parallel. Give them a shake out. Let's rinse and repeat. Bum push back for 10. Keep your legs in parallel. Morph into a tabletop stretch for 10. Hold your last one. Peel back up, leading with the back of your ribs, and take a small heel step forward with the left leg. Hands on your hip creases to fold forward in table and hold. Maybe you can frame your ears. Maybe you can drop the left arm down, curling your toes in. Maybe you can overlay right arm on top of left to curl your toes in. Then soften the knees to stand up and cross the right leg in front of the left. Folding forward into table or dropping through the table line, thinking fingers to floor and holding the stretch. Soften your knees, lead with the back of your ribs to restack. Give the legs a little shake out. Use your lower abs to pull the left knee up. Brush your hand down the chain of the leg, reach for the left foot. Drop the left knee to the floor and then squeeze the knee in towards the midline and begin to play with little pelvic tilts for 10. Hold your last one. Bring your legs back into parallel. Big breath in to circle the arms overhead. Exhale to reverse your frame back. Add a heel lift next time you bring the arms overhead. And then float back down as you bring the arms back. 2 more like that. Last one. Ending still standing, nice and tall, as we nod chin to chest to end off our playtime on the mat. Thank you for playing still standing with me today. Till next time, keep it light.